Welcome to Community Chat. This is the Candidates 2021 edition, where we will speak with candidates who are running for office in the town of Abington. Today's conversation, we will speak with a candidate who is seeking your vote for the Board of Health. We have with us Melissa Pond. Melissa, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me.
For folks who may or may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Melissa Pond. I'm 33. I work for the City of Quincy Planning Department. I've been there for about 10 years, just over 10 years, and I also have a master's degree in nonprofit management.
What made you decide to run for office? What was the thing that attracted you?
So I think the pandemic really made me aware that I want to be more engaged in local politics, have more of a voice in the local decision making. I have a very unique background for this work. I've spent since 2016 working in community health issues with the Blue Hills Community Health Network Alliance, and my work with the City of Quincy and the Planning Department as well. All of this work prepares me well to serve for the Board of Health.
Will this be the first time that you're appointed to a board or elected to a seat here in Abington?
Yes.
Okay. What's your understanding of the Board of Health and some of its day-to-day operations with the health department?
So I understand it's a regulatory board, so it makes decisions about things that the state wants us to look at, but also we look at trash issues and compost and recycling as well.
Okay. COVID-19 has changed our lives. I think it has changed our lives forever. When it comes to the town of Abington, give your thoughts in regards to the information that has been given out and give information that will be needed to give out for the remainder of 2021.
So I think that the Board of Health has done a phenomenal job with distributing information on social media and on the website, and the data of what's going on, what color code we're in, whether it's green, yellow, red. I think that they've done a great job of informing the public. That's information we want to know as residents, whether it's safe to send our kids to school, whether it's safe to have a gathering in our home. So I think that information is really helpful, and I think that we'll continue to be distributing that information.
When it comes to restaurants and following regulations, what is your understanding as to the board's role, especially if we have, an establishment that is in violation in some way or area?
So I believe the board would be involved in the oversight of that issue, making sure that they come into compliance.
Okay. So I would ask you, how do you feel the board is involved when it comes to trash? I think you had mentioned it earlier, trash pickup or other issues that the department deals with on a regular basis.
Well, my first experience with the Board of Health was back in just before the pandemic. There was the trash crisis, and Alex had done a great job keeping the public informed about what was going on, why there was a trash crisis going on. And so I understand that the board will be involved with, selecting a vendor to deal with the trash management and the recycling. And
so I would ask you, what's your understanding of the town's composting program, and have you ever had a chance to visit the compost site?
So I understand it's a volunteer-run organization, and that the town is invited to come out to take care of their composting needs there. And I'll be working on informing myself more about what I need to know about that and in the upcoming years on the board.
I know earlier we were talking a little bit about COVID-19. Here we are, we're going into a second year of dealing with this global pandemic. Just to what you know of the health department, do you feel that the department has enough resources to deal with COVID for a second year?
So I think that the department has done a great job managing the resources that it has. I know that we advocated for more state resources, such as getting the vaccines here so that we could vaccinate our residents locally, which I think is a phenomenal effort and I think is something that we should do. and we also just got, federal funding to be able to enhance the work that we're doing. So I hope that we do, and if we don't, I'll be an advocate for requesting more from the state and from the federal government.
What's your understanding of some of the other programs that the health department at the Board of Health oversees, whether it's rabies clinics or flu shots or stuff like that? What are your thoughts on that? Have you had a chance to do any research in those areas?
I have not done a lot of research in the rabies issue, but on the flu vaccinations, I know that our public health nurse has done a phenomenal job with that, and our health director. One of the health roundtables that you guys have put on, I heard her speak about how she was really helpful for the pediatrics side of things and making sure the kids were comfortable when they were getting their vaccines.
Being a resident, now I'm asking you to put your resident hat on, not your candidate's hat, looking at things that you've probably seen over the past few years, do you feel that the town officials, the elected officials, the appointed officials do a thorough enough job of communicating not only with each other but the public and with other boards?
I think that both the Board of Health and the selectmen have done a great job enhancing communication with the residents over the past 3 years. I've been very fortunate that following what Chris Schultz and Alex Haggerty were posting, and even the work that Tim Chapin has been doing to enhance the communications with the residents.
Okay. Is there an item, an issue that you'd want to take a moment, maybe we haven't talked about it here just yet, maybe you want to take a moment to touch upon it, or maybe just reemphasize something that we have discussed already?
Sure. So I think that there's 3 things that I see as a priority for me to tackle in my seat on the Board of Health, and one is enhanced communications and advocacy. I have just done some communications access work in Quincy and my full-time job there, where we were enhancing communications for persons with disabilities, and I see that as something that I want to help focus on here in Abington, particularly with the Board of Health. That includes, offering alt text on graphics, describing what's in those pictures, and then also doing more with closed captioning on any videos. And that enhances communications for everyone. If you don't have a chance to turn on the audio while you're scrolling through Facebook, at least you can kind of see the captioning scrolling when you can look at it. And the other area is I hope to work on bringing a community health center here. As I witnessed our town, fighting and advocating for vaccines locally, other towns who had community health centers were able to continue their local distribution. And so it was really seen as a real asset. It illustrated those community health centers as an asset for those communities. And so I hope that that's something that we can work on here in Abington. And the third thing is I see a lot of dialogue around affordable housing for seniors here in the town, which I'm really encouraged by. I want to see more of that here. And one of the things that the Board of Health can do to contribute is become a member of the AARP Age-Friendly Communities program, and that's a network where we'd be able to get resources, and it would really help us with best practices in establishing a community to keep our seniors in their own houses, and in establishing a community that really benefits everyone in a way that keeps people here, keeps people happy and healthy, and helps establish a role for the Board of Health in working and collaborating with other departments in that area.
Okay. Just a couple more questions here. This next one is very, very easy. As somebody who's lived in the town for a few years, do you have a favorite spot, whether it's a location in town, the Grove or Ames Knoll, or maybe a favorite place to sit and eat? Just be careful though, because there's so many great places to visit.
Island Grove is definitely my favorite. So I was introduced to Abington by a college friend, and her family is such a wonderful family, and we would spend time at her house and then walk down to Island Grove. And so I have pictures spending time there with my college friends, and then when we moved here and bringing my daughter there, it's just really special memories for me. So,
if folks want to find out more about you, if they want to reach out to you, if they want to find out more about your campaign, how can they do that?
Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook, Melissa Pond, for Abington Board of Health. And you can also email me at melissapond02351@gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you very much. And we want to wish you and we wish all the candidates the best of luck coming up during the election. And we want to wish you the best of luck getting out to the polls. Remember, April 24th, they have moved the location where you would normally vote. It will not be at Emerald Hall this year. It's going to be at the Beaver Brook School. But if you want more information, whether it's voter registration, early voting, anything like that, contact the town clerk's office for more details. Get involved and make sure you make your vote count. Again, April 24th. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in to Community Chat. Have a good day.